Hey guys, welcome to Natalie Perry's YouTube channel, the educational channel for all things love, dating, and relationships, where I help women understand how men think and what real men want. Whether you're navigating the dating scene, working on self-love, or looking to establish healthy, meaningful connections, you're definitely at the right place. I share respectable dating advice, winning dating advice, result-driven dating advice. I like to say that my dating advice is not for all women because all women are not ready for this level of dating advice. This is smart dating advice for smart women. With that being said, welcome, and if you're new here, I'm so glad to have you. If you are returning, welcome back. Now let's dive into it, okay? Let me take a sip. You know, I just made my iced coffee. Y'all, I am so addicted to this. Oh my God. This drink is just like so refreshing. This is a caramel latte, okay? So in case you're wondering, it's a caramel latte. But when I tell you, so good. All right, guys. Today's topic is going to be on 10 traits that are an absolute turn off to a man, okay? Ladies, we must understand that there are certain things that we can do, certain ways that we carry ourselves, behaviors that we portray that is just an absolute turn off to a man, okay? And many times and oftentimes when you don't know what those traits are, you continue to behave in that manner because in your mind it's perfectly okay, all right? Because you don't have anyone in your circle to tell you it's not okay, all right? Or you'll find yourself always going in and out of relationships because men just cannot take you because you're doing things that are just an absolute turn off, okay? And for those women that will be coming in my comments saying, oh, well, men do things and they're a turn off and men do this and men do that and they turn me off. Absolutely, that is so true. But my content is catered to women, all right? So the information that I give you and that I dish out is for women, okay? Yes, we know men can do all of those things, okay? But it's not about a man on my page. It's about the woman, all right? So again, traits that women, things that women do and traits that women display can be an absolute turn off to a man. And again, sometimes, you know, you're not aware of the things that you do, and this is why men do not stay around you, okay? So today I am going to go through 10 behaviors, all right? That is an absolute turn off to a man, okay? The first trait, negative attitude. Nobody wants to be around a complaining woman. Nobody wants to be around a person who is always negative, okay? That becomes draining, okay? No one is interested in being around a person who never have anything nice to say, but is always displaying negativity. A person walk in your house, ooh, why you have that shirt on? That's ugly. Ooh, why you put them two colors together? Ooh, that don't look good. That is draining, okay? Nobody wants to hear a person being negative to them all the time, all right? So if you are a woman who exemplifies that type of energy, okay? Being negative all the time. I mean, people can't be around you because you always have something negative to say. That's a turnoff, okay? It's just so much of that a person can take because what happens, your negativity starts draining on their spirit, okay? Nobody wants their spirit to go through torture because you're so negative every time they come around you, okay? Most times when you are a negative person like that, people vanish from you, okay? Because they cannot take you because you're a very unhappy person and you try to inflict negativity upon people because you're unhappy. Because that's what negative people do, okay? And that's what unhappy people do, okay? They try and inflict negativity upon people because they are not happy with themselves, okay? So they utilize people to always try to find something negative, all right? Because again, they want the people to feel what they are feeling, okay? Which is not being happy with themselves, all right? So with that being said, if you are a negative woman who is trying to date a man, I can almost assure you that relationship is not going to last, because once he has identified you as a negative Susie, you're going to be history, okay? I repeat, nobody wants to be around a negative person. You're a turn off, all right? The next trait, number 2, neediness or clinginess, okay? Which means that your day starts and ends with this man. Meaning that you cannot do anything unless this man is around, okay? Nobody wants to be under that kind of pressure. First and foremost, everybody needs their space, okay? Everybody needs their space, all right? It's not healthy for you to be up under a man like that, and it's not healthy for a man to be up under you like that, okay? You need your space so that you can woosah, breathe in, breathe out, okay? But as far as you being so insecure that this man cannot do anything without you up under him, it's annoying and it's a turnoff. He can't go to the gas station. He can't go in the garage. He can't run to the store. He can't go visit friends. You're always trying to be a part of the mix, okay? You are annoying and it's a turnoff, okay? And any man, okay, who has any kind of independence within himself is not going to find that behavior attractive, all right? The only person or the only man that will find that behavior attractive is a very insecure man himself, all right? And that's not a perfect match. You're insecure and he's insecure as well. That doesn't go together, all right? So I repeat, if you are a woman that is clingy or needy, all right, you can never be alone. It's a turn off, all right? And it's just so much of that a man can take before he abandon you, all right? So remember, that's not a good trait to have. And like I said, the only person that will find that attractive is a man who is very, very insecure himself, okay? The third trait, lacks self-respect. You have no self-respect, and I've talked about this in the past. You tolerate mistreatment. You settle for less. You don't have boundaries, okay? A person can do anything to you and you tolerate it, okay? That is the worst attribute that you can have, all right? Not having self-respect is not a good thing, because when people recognize that you do not have self-respect, they automatically think that they can do anything to you, all right? I mean, anything. And you're going to tolerate it, all right? And once a person feels that they can do anything to you, they don't have any respect for you, okay? And when a person don't have respect for you, it is impossible for them to even really like you, all right? So you never want to be labeled as a person that do not have self-respect, okay? You never want people to be able to look at you and identify you as a person who do not have self-respect. Because I repeat, when you don't have self-respect, they recognize it, and guess what? They use it to their advantage, okay? And always remember, when a person can mistreat you, hurt you, abuse you, talk to you any kind of way, just know they don't like you, okay? And they have no respect for you. And as I said earlier, if they don't have any respect for you, they don't like you, all right? So make sure we don't get that confused that because a person hurts us or mistreat us, oh, he still likes me, but he just got issues. No, he don't like you. He don't like you at all right? Because he has no respect for you, okay? So remember, you never want to be the girl labeled as no respect or no self-respect, that is, okay? Entitlement, okay? The fourth trait, entitlement. You act like somebody owes you something. You act like the world owes you something. You're so entitled that you just think everybody owes you something, okay? And you have nothing to give, all right? That's what you call entitlement, all right? You want the world, but you have nothing to offer, okay? How? How can you want the world when you have nothing to offer? All right, that's what you call entitlement, okay? I can recall this video circulating of some time ago. And the gentleman took this lady to Cheesecake Factory. Like I've said before, I don't know what's the issue with Cheesecake Factory, because me personally, I like Cheesecake Factory. So what's the issue, okay? She said she was not getting out of the car because he took her to Cheesecake Factory. Now, what kind of mentality is that? It's like, how do you even have the balls or the guts to behave like that when somebody is just trying to do a nice gesture, okay? Somebody is trying to take his money and do something nice for you. And you say you're not getting out of the car because he took you or he brought you to Cheesecake Factory. Do you know how ignorant you look? Do you know how small you look? All right? See, this is what I'm saying. See, many times we can do things and act in a certain way, and we think that we're really doing something big. We really think that we're really, doing something, by behaving like this. When in reality, you don't realize how silly, how small you look, okay? Being entitled, okay? No one owes you anything, all right? And for those women that walks around here like that, you're not doing anything but hurting yourself, okay? Because nobody cares about you like that, okay? When a man identify you as one of them silly chicks or one of them silly women, they politely dismiss you and keep it moving, all right? People are not going to deal with people with issues, especially in the beginning when there is no connection there. Once most people identify that you are a problematic person or you're a problem with issue, they go and they leave and they go live their best life, okay? Because people are not trying to jump into something with a woman, all right? When they already see clear, you are a woman with issues, all right? So again, acting as though you are entitled, like people owe you something, nobody cares about you, okay? People will leave you before they deal with your crap. That's just how it is, all right? So again, remember, as you're out here dating and searching for your guy or whatever, that entitlement behavior is a turnoff, okay? It is a major, major turnoff. So don't do it, all right? That is the quickest way for you to be abandoned, all right? Because I repeat, there is no attachment to you, okay? So once a person has identified you as this woman with all of these issues and you're entitled and I'm entitled to this and I'm entitled to that, first and foremost, how did you come up with that? That's the first thing, all right? And then secondly, what do you have, okay? What are you offering that you're so entitled, all right? So again, people, we got to stop being ignorant, okay? We got to learn how to date. Like I said before, we got to learn how to date. And that's the problem with a lot of you all. You don't know how to date at all. What you think is attractive is not attractive. How you think you're supposed to behave is not the way you're supposed to behave, all right? It's the quickest way for a man to put an X over you and be like, never again, all right? We got to learn how to date, all right? Trait number 5, you're too guarded. You're emotionally unavailable. A man can't even talk to you. You don't even know how to talk to a man. He's trying to have conversation with you, trying to get to know you, just trying to, understand what you like, what you don't like. You don't know how to talk. Everything is a one word, 2 words. You don't know how to conversate and keep the conversation going and have interesting conversation. It's hard to try to have a relationship with a woman who don't know how to talk, all right? And that's like so weird when you are a grown woman and you don't know how to have conversation with the man who is trying to get to know you. Why don't you know how to have good conversation with the man who is trying to get to know you? All right? You're unemotionally available, okay? How can a man establish anything with you when you're not emotionally available? All right? They can't, okay? The key foundation to a relationship is being able to have good communication, being able to talk to one another, being able to understand one another. And how we do that, we must talk to each other. And when a man is trying to talk to you and he sees that he cannot get any conversation from you, he sees that he cannot get through to you, at some point the man gets tired and he's like, okay, I'm done. I'm out. This is not what I'm looking for. Okay? So I repeat, we gotta learn how to have conversation when we're in relationships or in beginning stages of relationships. The foundation to establishing a meaningful relationship starts with conversation. And when you don't know how to conversate, you cannot establish anything. You just can't. All right? So put your phones down and learn how to talk to people face to face. All right? Yeah, you just cannot have a relationship with somebody if you are emotionally unavailable. You just can't. Or you're too guarded. All right? You act very guarded. That's unattractive. Very, very unattractive. It's like you have this wall up and a man is just like trying to break this wall to get to know you. And he can't because you have this big wall up. And maybe it stems from situations that you've gone through in the past. But again, you cannot bring past baggage into a new situation. That was then. This is a new situation. You have to release that baggage and see what this new situation is offering you. Yes, you proceed with caution, absolutely. But you cannot bring a situation that hurt you in your past into a new situation because it's going to prevent you from being able to establish a relationship with someone that could have possibly been a very good situation. Like I said, when a person is trying to get to know you, their patience is very thin and their patience is very short. All right? And when it seems like it's a puzzle or a task to try to get to know you, they're out. Instantly, they're like, I don't have time for this. Oh, let me go on about my business. Because again, you're bringing past situations into a new situation with the guy who is just really trying to get to know you. He has nothing to do with what happened in the past. Absolutely nothing. Remove the wall and get to know the guy. You just never know how amazing this new situation can be. Come on now. Come on. Insecurity masquerade in confidence. Insecurity masquerading in confidence. All right? In other words, fake confidence. All right? That's what I'm saying. You're fake. Okay? You're trying to fake like you're trying to act like you have confidence, but you don't have confidence. You understand? If that makes sense. You're trying to portray like you're this confident woman, but the reality is you're not confident at all. You know what I'm saying? You understand that? Yeah. Okay. That's what that means. Okay? Oversharing accomplishments, that type of thing. I mean, anything that you do, you're like oversharing. Okay? I don't care what it is that may have happened. Oh, I just brought me a new car and I just brought me a 300 ST Mercedes-Benz. I just brought me a BMW. You know, just totally overly sharing your accomplishments, okay? You don't have to do that when you have confidence, okay? People only do that when they're insecure, all right? You don't have to do that, all right? Whatever accomplishments that you have, people will automatically see it, okay? Just by the way that you carry yourself, okay? People can see it, all right? Or you use sex to overcompensate your insecurity. You understand? You know, using sex, to try to compensate for your insecurities, all right? So I repeat, when you're not confident, it shines bright, okay? When you are confident, it shines bright, all right? So either way, you don't need to fake it because people can see through you. And when you are really confident, people see that as well, all right? So remember, you don't need to fake confidence, all right? People know when you're confident and people know when you're not confident. It's very obvious, okay? And a lot of you all, a lot of you all think that people are like stupid, okay? And I'm just gonna be real, a lot of you all really be thinking people stupid. One thing about people, especially grown people, they can see through you. All right, period. All right. People know when you have money and people know when you don't have money. People know when you're classy and people know when you aren't classy, okay? People know when you're confident and people know when you aren't confident, all right? You cannot fool grown people, all right? Now, you probably can fool them little kids, okay? But grown people can see through you, all right? And a lot of you, I think, don't understand it, all right? A lot of you, I really don't think understand that. You cannot fake with people, all right? People see straight through you, all right? Remember that, okay? Because a lot of you all walk around here and swear y'all be doing it or whatever. People can see through you. I just need you to understand, all right? Remember that, okay? Being overly critical, all right? You're always constantly putting someone down, okay? That is a very, very ugly trait to have. A person that is always putting someone down, okay? And normally people who do that and behave like that, that's because, again, they do not feel good about themselves, and it makes them feel good when they put someone else down, all right? And that is a really, to me, sick trait to have when you get joy off of putting someone else down. That's not good at all. You understand? When you are, you know, with the woman, I mean, with the man, and with the man or anybody, and your joy is just putting someone down. That is not a good trait to have at all. Okay? Nobody wants to be around a person that every time something comes out of their mouth, it's an insult. Okay? It's putting someone down. It's trying to make someone feel bad, okay? You put someone down to make you feel good, okay? You need healing, okay? There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. You need healing. If you get joy off of putting someone down, you need healing because you have some major issues, all right? Nobody gets joy off of putting someone down. Okay, nobody gets joy off of that, all right? So if that is the way that you feel good about yourself, or that's a high for you, you have problems, all right? And you need to go get healing, all right? Or you need to go talk to somebody, get some therapy, something, all right? Because that is a very, very bad trait to have, all right? And anybody that you are around will observe that, okay? And it's just so much of that a person can tolerate, okay? It becomes like, to the ears, it's just like, oh my God, this is all this woman do is put people down. Oh my God, she never have anything nice to say to people. Why is she always putting someone down? Yeah, or if you're not putting someone down, you're always correcting someone. You're always correcting your man. I mean, he can't do anything. You always have something to say as far as a correction. You understand? Nobody wants to feel as though you're trying to parent them and they are a grown man, okay? Now, don't get me wrong. There is a such thing as constructive criticism. Absolutely, okay? But when it's a situation where you are just overly critical of someone, okay? Overly critical, then it becomes a situation like, okay, something's wrong here. All this woman do is criticize me. Or all this woman do is correct me all day long, okay? And it could be something so minor, but you always try and find a problem in whatever it is that he may do, okay? I repeat, it's just so much of that a man is going to take, okay? Before he abandon you, period, all right? That's a turn off, okay? So if you are that woman who is always criticizing someone, stop. You'll turn off, okay? And if you can't stop, go get some type of counseling, therapy. Go get something, all right? Because that's not a good trait to have. That doesn't make you look good at all. So if you think that that makes you look good, I'm here to tell you it does not, all right? It's a very, very ugly trait to have, okay? Go get help, all right? The next one, lack of ambition, all right? A person who lacks ambition. Number 9, okay? A woman with no goals, no vision for herself, all right? you're not inspiring to be around, okay? A man who has goals, ambition, and want things out of life wants a woman who has goals and ambitions, because together you guys are dynamic, okay? When a man meet a woman, all right, and he really have a vision for his life, and you're a woman who does not have a vision for life, okay? You have no future goals. You just have no purpose, okay? You are a negative force in that man's life, okay? That man cannot move the way that he wants to move because you are a woman who has no goals, all right? And I'm talking about couples that come together and work together, all right? I'm not talking about a man who's a millionaire, okay? He got tons of money. I'm just talking about the everyday American, all right? And that's another thing that you all get mixed up. For some reason, you guys have this mindset, and I hear a lot of people telling you all this. If a man can't come in and help, if a man can't come in and take care of me, I don't want him. What world are you living in? Like, what world are you living in? Let's be real, okay? What world are you living in? A man who has a 9-to-5 job, okay? And just say he makes $65,000, $75,000 a year, okay? What makes you think that he could just fully take care of you? What makes you think that he can pay all of his bills, whether it's a house note, car note, insurance, his necessities, take care of himself, and then come take care of you too, all right? What world are you living in, okay? This is what I'm trying to tell you about the people on this internet telling y'all this crap, all right? It doesn't work like that. You find yourself a companion, all right, a woman, all right? You guys come together and you make magic happen, all right? This is for the everyday American. This is how the everyday American operates, all right? It's no such thing that a man who just has a 9-to-5, okay, can literally fully take care of you like that. It just can't happen, all right? But what's the beauty about coming together as a couple, you all work together and you build together. That's how relationships are. That's how successful relationships are. Okay? It's no such thing you meet this man. If this man is not a millionaire or making 6 figures a year, it is impossible for him to do that for you. But that does not mean he's not a good man. That's the part y'all don't understand. Again, you all mess it up for yourself. And again, listening to these people on this internet telling y'all this stupidity. All right? It doesn't work like that. Couples come together and they build together. That's how it works. And then you look a few years later, 5 years later, you look and you see where you guys have come from, and it's like, wow, look, honey, we did this. Look, we did this together. That's how it goes. I repeat, it's no such thing a man who just have a job, all right, can take care of all of his bills and then come in and take care of all of you and your bills. No, don't worry, it doesn't work like that. All right? You come together and you build together. That's how it works, okay? Do you have a millionaire job? So why are you expecting him to have a millionaire job and then be able to take care of you too? And then, expect him to have a millionaire job. It doesn't work like that, people. All right? So we got to get out of this fantasy land because, again, you all are running it for yourself, okay? And like I've said before, you got so many people on this darn internet telling y'all, oh, I'm talking about information that's so wrong, it's just disgusting. I mean, like, literally just got y'all headed down a whole rabbit hole, okay? And as a result, because of what you all are adopting as far as knowledge when it comes to relationship, men are not even trying to marry y'all because your expectations are not realistic, okay? What you think that a man is supposed to do is not realistic. And you're not doing anything but harming yourself. Like, literally. I repeat, it is nothing more unattractive than seeing a woman who does not have any ambition or any goals for herself. That is very unattractive to a man, okay? No man wants to be around a woman who just sits and watch television and get her nails done, okay? That's ugly, all right? No man wants that, especially a thriving man who has goals for himself, all right? He doesn't like that. He's not going to like that. Even if he hang out with you for a few minutes, all right? You're going to notice that he's going to lose respect for you, and most likely he's going to vanish in thin air, all right? Because you'll turn off, okay? That's annoying, all right? A woman who has no goals for herself, who lacks ambition, who lacks drive, okay? Just has no future plans, all right? And just looking for a man to take care of her. That's ugly, okay? Very unattractive. A woman who is drama-filled, all right? You don't like peace, okay? You do not like peace, all right? You are always involved in some kind of drama, some kind of chaos, okay? Whether it's with friends, whether it's with relatives, your name is always in the mix, all right? Men do not like that, okay? Good men do not like that. No man wants a woman who is always in some sort of drama, okay? No man wants a woman who do not like peace, all right? Because you have some women, they really do not like peace. They like drama. It always got to be a show going on. You understand? No man wants that, all right? No man wants that. That is super unattractive, okay? Because most men, all right, when it comes to their woman, they're looking for peace, all right? And when you cannot offer them peace, they're out, okay? Because I repeat, drama, nobody wants to be a part of that, okay? And especially every time you look up, okay? It's like you are the drama queen. Nobody wants to be a part of that. You're a turn off, all right? Number 10, trying too hard to impress, okay? And I like to talk about this because this is really an epidemic with some women, all right? Trying too hard to impress, okay? Whether it's materialism, whether it's materialistic, or whether it is name dropping, okay? You are always trying to impress, all right? Whether it's material, like I say, materialistic, everything you got on, it got to be Gucci, it got to be Fendi, it got to be this, it got to be that. You don't realize that's ugly, okay? That's ugly, all right? A woman who always got to be name brand down, that's ugly. Okay, it just does not look good, okay? You're trying too hard to impress. And who are you trying to impress? Because do you understand, people really don't care. Let's just be real. People really do not care, okay? But you really do have people who are always trying to impress. And just so that you know, that's not impressive to a man, okay, at all right? A woman who is always in some name brand designer, that's not impressive to a man. Whether you know it or not, it's a very big turnoff, okay? Very, very big turnoff, all right? It's like, what are you trying to say? What's the purpose, all right? What's the purpose? Like, really, okay? What's the purpose every time this man come around, you a designer? What are you trying to say, all right? It's not a good look, all right? You're trying too hard, all right? That's not impressing that man. I can tell you that now. If anything, it's turning him off, okay? Whether you know it or not, it's a turn off, okay? Name dropping, you understand? You may know some people, okay? You always mentioning their names, okay? What is that doing for you? What is that doing for you in this relationship that you're in, okay? What reason do you need to bring those people up? Again, you're trying to impress. Who are you trying to impress, all right? Because I repeat, most times people really don't care. They really don't. You see, things that you all think that people care about, they don't. And especially when it comes to a relationship. Things that you think that a man is going to look at and be like, oh, wow, that's impressive. That's not impressive. So what, you have a Gucci bag on? Who cares? So what, you know, LeBron James? Who cares? I mean, it's awesome, but who cares? Like, really, who cares? You understand what I'm trying to say? It's not about that. When a man is really trying to get to know you, he just want to try to get to know you. He's not interested in the designer clothes that you have. He's not interested in who you know, all right? How is that benefiting the relationship? It's not. It really isn't. And as far as the designer wear, let me just say this just so you all would know, okay? First of all, we all know, okay, designer wear is very, very expensive, okay? Everybody knows designer clothes are super, super expensive. I know, trust me, I know, okay? So with designer clothes, okay, that comes with certain careers, okay? When you see people that are able to really, really wear designer wear like that, usually maybe they have an amazing husband who has an awesome, career, or maybe they have an awesome business, Put it like this, the designer clothes they wear matches their career or their lifestyle. Make sense? Okay, got it. So those people that may wear designer wear, okay, and always in designer wear, but when you ask what their occupation, it's like, what? Well, how are you wearing this and this is what you do? Don't make sense, right? Don't look right, right? So I'm saying this to say, people are not stupid, okay? Men are not stupid, okay? So when you're walking around here in designer wear, okay, and, displaying all of these designer fashions, and your occupation does not speak that, trust me, most likely that man is saying to himself, either it's fake or she got something else going on, all right? People are not stupid, all right? But just so that you know, okay, a man is not impressed by designer wear, okay? When a man is trying to get to know you, he just wants to get to know you, all right? And what you're about and, see if there's a possibility, okay? But when you are wearing designer clothes 7 days a week, okay, every time he see you, I just need you to understand that's not attractive, okay? It's a turnoff, okay? It's a huge turnoff, okay? Because it really shouts you're trying to impress somebody. And I repeat, who are you trying to impress? Because that's not impressive. All right? So again, I wanted to have this discussion because like I said, many times women do things and they're not aware that it's a turnoff. They're not aware of their behavior, their mindset, things that they do, things that they say, how they carry themselves is a turnoff, okay? And most times, when men have identified certain traits in you, men realize, hey, I can't deal with that. Let me leave that alone. You understand? But you're not really aware of why he vanished or why he never called you back. Because again, it was things that you were doing that was a turnoff. All right. So these are 10 traits that I have come up with. All right. And I'm sure there's many more, but these are the 10 that I definitely wanted to speak on because it is very important that you are able to understand and recognize those traits. And I'm going to repeat them again. Negative attitude. Nobody wants to be around a woman who has a negative attitude. You're a turn off. Okay. Clinginess. Okay. Neediness. Nobody likes a needy woman. That's very unattractive and you're a turn off. Okay? Lack of self-respect. You never want a person to realize that you have no self-respect. Because when a person realizes that you have no self-respect, they know that they can do anything to you and it is perfectly okay because you have no self-respect. And when you have no self-respect, it is very important and very impossible for a person to like you because they have no respect for you. All right? So lacking self-respect is not a good thing. All right? Being entitled, okay? Acting as though somebody owes you something. Nobody owes you anything. Nobody owes you absolutely nothing, okay? Don't take a person's kindness for weakness, all right? They owes you absolutely nothing, all right? Being entitled, acting entitled is a turnoff. Don't do it, all right? Being too guarded, emotionally unavailable, all right? Nobody want to feel like it's a puzzle to try to get to know you. Nobody want to feel like they need a brick hammer to try to break a wall to get to know you. That's exhausting, all right? Nobody wants to do that. you'll turn off, okay? And after so much of that, you're going to see that man is going to never call you again, all right? Insecurity masquerading as confidence, all right? You're very insecure, but you're trying to pretend like you have confidence. Like I've said before, people know when you have confidence and people know when you don't have confidence. So you're not masquerading at all, because people are able to identify a person who has confidence and a person who do not have confidence, all right? Being overly critical. Nobody wants to be around a person who and all they do is criticize. You're annoying. You're a turnoff, okay? You're a burden, all right? You're too much, okay? Nobody wants to be around a person who does nothing but criticize, okay? That is exhausting, all right? Lack of ambition and drive, all right? Nobody wants to be around a woman who has no future goals, okay? Who has no purpose, okay? Who has no ambitions, okay? Who has no desire for life, okay? Nobody wants to be around a woman like that. Because again, when a man identifies you as that woman, they know that they can't grow with you. They know for a fact they can't grow with you. You have no ambition. All right? Drama filled. Nobody wants to be around a woman who is always in drama. Okay? Nobody wants to be around that type of woman. Every time they look up, you in some situation, okay? Whether it's with family, whether it's friends, your name is always in the mix. It is always chaos when it comes to you. A peaceful man is not about to deal with you, okay? The only kind of man that's going to deal with your drama-filled self is a broken man, all right? Because he comes from drama too, all right? And that's not a perfect match. So with that being said, a woman who is always in drama is a turnoff. And last but not least, a woman who is always trying to impress somebody, okay? Nobody cares. I need you to understand that, all right? When a man is trying to get to know you, he's not thinking about what kind of clothes you got on or what designer is that or what designer label is that. No man is thinking about that when they're trying to get to know you. I can tell you that now. So the woman who thinks that every time she steps out the door, she has to have on designer wear, I need you to understand, you're not impressive. Really and truly, you are a turnoff. Period. All right? That's not impressive at all, okay? Just because you have Gucci on head to toe, don't think somebody is looking at you saying, ooh, look at her, okay? Because people who are on a different level of intelligence do not find that impressive, all right? People who are on a different level of intelligence look at that as, that's a turnoff, all right? So with that being said, I hope you guys have taken notes, all right? Because that is super, super important. And like I said, the goal is to try to establish meaningful connections with people and with men, that is. And when you meet men, it is very important that you know how to carry yourself, all right? And unfortunately, many women do not, all right? Because again, they were never taught, all right? They were never provided the information, or they're following the wrong information, all right? And they find themselves winding up back at the starting line, okay? Because I repeat, when there is no real connection, especially in the beginning, okay? When you're getting to know someone, all right? When there is no real connection in the beginning, when you betray certain behaviors, it is very quick for a man to leave the building, quick, fast, in a hurry, because there's really no bond, there's no connection, all right? But he can already see the type of person that you are. And once he has identified the type of person that you are, he instantly will say to himself, this is not for me, so I am not going to continue this, all right? That's normally how it goes, okay? So I need you guys to be very aware of your behavior, all right? And especially if you are out here searching and seeking, okay? No, nobody is perfect, absolutely not. But there is a such thing as that we can have behaviors, or we can demonstrate behaviors that is a very big turnoff, okay? Very, very big turnoff, all right? So with that being said, guys, this has been amazing talking to you all. I hope you all enjoyed this conversation. I want you guys to have an amazing weekend, do something fun, and if you are dating someone, make sure that he takes you out on a nice date this weekend, all right? And just enjoy each other, all right? Until next time, guys, be smart, date smart, choose wisely, Nat Nation. And remember, I told you. Bye, guys.